You know, observer, just to understand this carefully, according to your understanding, the sun rays from where? When we say the sun rays from the east, this is something all of us we say, but it's let us say it's a metaphorical meaning, or not metaphorical. It's like it's a statement because this is how we see it. But this is not a scientific statement, correct? Now, your Quran and many books, they say the sun rays from the east, but the fact, scientifically, it does not. But according to your religion, the sun rays from a place, and the sun set in a place. Correct? The sun itself is raising physically, according to Islam. As an example, your Prophet, he said, in the morning, let me pause the hadith. This is about your Prophet speaking about the prayer in the morning. He said, let me post the hadith. This is the hadith. This is Sahih Muslim. I will post the link too. Oh, the hadith is long. Let me make it maybe shorter or change the color. Oh, it's long. Okay, I will do this. According to your Prophet, just to summarize the hadith, he said that when it is the sun is rising, don't pray. Don't pray. Why? Because the sun rays from between the two horns of the devil. From where? From between the two horns of the devil. Now, why your Prophet don't want you to pray? Because he thinks the sun rays from between the two horns of the devil. Is that scientifically true? Your mic.
I want you to take note that you are the one who raised this hadith. You mentioned that the sun, that the hadith mentioned that the sun raises from between the horns of the two horns of the devil.
Okay, enter observer, he got with his child. Guys, so what if I mention this hadith? It doesn't make me I'm the one who's saying it, it's your Prophet. Correct, guys? Is that going to be used against me? How your Prophet, he says such a thing, that sun rays from between the two horns of Satan? The mic is yours.
Okay. Okay. As for the hadith in question, you say that this the sun raises in between the horns of Satan. Okay. Again, the time of sunrise is based on your perception when you see the sun, right? As for in between the horns of Satan, okay, that is completely theological and there's nothing scientific about that. If you want to bring that into a scientific circle, you have to first prove the existence of Satan, right? So God is not a scientific fact, as you may want to say, and neither is Satan, right? So you won't find these in science manuals, at least not in the Western science books or any science books that I know of. You won't find a mention of Satan or God creating. So if you're going to say that the sun rises in Satan, right between Satan's horns, and you want me to do some scientific expose on that, first you have to ask me to prove the existence of Satan, which you yourself believe that there is a Satan, but you can't prove that there is a Satan. So again, you yourself will have to end up justifying why you believe in Satan. You're right. Well, it's not avoiding the question. It's not a scientific statement, right? The fact, if we say that the sun rises in between the horns of Satan, that's not a scientific statement. There's no way for me to prove it to you, and there's no way for you to disprove it for me, right? So you cannot say that this is where Satan is or Satan isn't there, because you don't know where Satan is yourself. Yet you believe that Satan exists. Your mic.
You know, the funny, he said, you have to prove that Satan exists. I thought you are a Muslim and I'm a Christian and you believe that Satan exists, and I believe already that Satan exists, and now you are telling me to prove that Satan exists? I thought those are something you agree and I agree about. This is really funny. Secondly, you are telling me, prove that this is scientifically. I am the one I'm proving that this is not scientifically. I'm showing you that your prophet is telling you fairy tale stories, man. You just said, prove to me that the sun, where the sun exists. Where the sun exists. Here we go. Now we knew where the sun exists according to your prophet. The sun rays from between the two horns of Satan, according to your prophet, the sun in the east. And the sun is coming from between his two horns. This is what your prophet is saying. In the same time, can you explain to me why you cannot pray when the sun is rising? What's wrong with the sun rising? If the sun is rising, you cannot pray because the sun is rising from between the two horns of Satan. Okay, now, so, what does this have to do with this? A person is praying to his God. The sun is coming from between the two horns of Satan. So, you know, guys, what I'm talking about? What does this have to do with this? Nothing. Nothing. Because when you pray to your God, if it is night, if it is day, if it is sunset, who cares? If your God is all powerful and he can hear your prayer anyway, the sun coming from here, from there, the sun did not come yet, that will not change anything. So your prophet is making a very false statement, teaching the Muslims fairy tales, claiming that the sun is coming from between the two horns of Satan. And by the way, do Satan have two horns? Your mind.
You're dragging on the conversation about things that I would consider to be irrelevant as regards to faith, right? As to aspects of faith, yes, these things may be relevant as to what entails or what you believe or what you may not believe. But as regards to faith and what religion is correct, I find this to be a bit irrelevant. And it seems as if you're trying to dodge the bullet here. You're here not to talk about science in the Quran. I mean, because again, I could show you something in the Bible that would be considered very unscientific. However, there is some way that you would justify this in your belief, right? So, I am not here to scientifically prove my religion. That has never been my perspective, simply because science is not the means of verifying God, right? God created science, not the other way around, right? So science is not the means of verifying religion, and if there are scientific statements, then fine. I take that as face value, and I don't go anything farther than that. Right? However, it seems as if there are other issues that may be a bit more important than this, such as theology, what you believe. You know, at the end of the day, God won't call you to account for what you believe about the sun rising. God will call you to account for who you believe or who you are worshiping, right? So don't ask me to account for the, you know, the small things that you know, that are very, very minor when there are far bigger issues at hand that maybe needs to be addressed. So yes, the Bible does refer to unicorns. I don't go and ask you about that, or three-legged, four-legged birds, sorry. I don't ask you about those things, right? You can't scientifically prove that. So, you know, it's let's talk about things that are you know, that are a bit more important to religion, which is what is who is God, what your theology is, what you consider to be moral and immoral. Your people here, they laugh at Aisha's child marriage. They laugh at what else? They say that that Allah is a moon god, things like that. You know, which to me are far more important to deal with than where I believe the sun to be, or you know, things like that. It is far, far more important to me than where I believe the sun to be at a certain time of the day. So let's address something of relevance that affects everybody, and not just something that is in a marginalized part of my belief. Your mic.
You know, it's funny when a Muslim he speak about unicorn, when he just told me, I don't know what unicorn you are talking about, but we will laugh later about that, no problem, because we can show very easy that the Muslims who believe that sun travel every night, sleep under the throne of Allah, he want to talk about logic and I want to talk about science. And remember, you are the one who chose for me this topic about where the sun goes in orbit. According to the Quran, guys, according to the Quran, Alexander the Great, he traveled until he found where the sun set, and he found the sunset next to it people, which means it is a location where the sun goes, and the sun goes in a dirty, murky water. Let us see what the Quran says. Chapter 18, verse number 86. I have a thunderstorm. I hope I will not lose my electricity in here. Let us see what the Quran says, and this is a translation of Yusuf Ali. Doesn't say appear, don't lie. It says, he traveled until when he reached the setting of the sun, he found it. He found it set in a spring murky water. Near it, he found a people. Near what? Near the sun. Where near the sun? Where the sun set to find near it where people they are living there. So he traveled until, no, we are speaking about the sun now. This is the topic you open, Observer. You are the one who open it. The sun every day go and travel. This is what we mentioned to you in the hadith before. Your prophet speaking about courses. Now let us find where the course is. It is false what Muhammad said about the sun goes under the throne of Allah, because now it says in the Quran that the sun goes in a murky water. And Alexander the Great, which is a messenger of Allah, he found the sun set in a murky water, and next to it there's people.